Yeah, I'm Scotty. Scott Danson. I'm the drummer, lead drummer.
Lead drummer.
And I'm Dean Whittmann-Lamb, the singer-guitarist for the Revelation.
Yeah, Damien Zylstra, guitar.
Hey, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
No worries. So we've got a few things to cover today, but we'll start with your most recent musical release. So the Revelation recently released a music video for your 7th single, Liberty. So how's the early reception been? I understand you've been getting some good numbers.
Yeah, really good. Like, it's been up on YouTube for roughly 2 weeks now. It's had 4.2k views, which has been great. Good support, good feedback too from all over the world. Actually, some interesting comments from other countries. So that's good to see that too. That they're getting it as well and seeing it.
Is that the Swedish chicks?
There's been all sorts, Scott. Even
they're the only
Russia.
Yeah, I just noticed all the comments from the Swedish girls.
That's all you need.
I can't remember what they said.
So tell us
That's a good thing.
Tell us a bit more about the song from a musical point of view then, guys, and what you're going for with it.
Is in inspiration-wise?
Just generally, like what, yeah, inspiration-wise, musically, lyrically?
Well, the song sort of just... I wrote it a while ago, actually, and then you don't... Again, there's no reason why songs turn out the way they turn out. You know, you just... all your influences come to you at some point. They come out of you at some point too, and that's the way it should be. So I'm not afraid to say that, you know, yeah, I'm influenced by the bands that you may hear in that song. So and then once the boys get hold of their creative juices and put their influence in the song, they tap into things that I might have tapped into. So eventually it comes together in like a great big mixing pot, and what comes out is, you know, the Revelation.
We say it's the 7th single that you guys have released. So how does it differ sonically from previous releases?
Well, again, the first 3 songs were released, and Scotty and Damien and Gordon weren't playing on those songs at that time because I didn't have a band at that point. You know, so I was just writing songs and just pretty much it's just going to be known as a digital artist, and just release songs. So, but the itch was getting, you know, very scratchy for me. So to put a band together, and then once, you know, reconnect again with Scotty, and then Scotty with Damien, hence the title Full Circle with our new CD EP, all getting together again and playing music, which has been awesome. So the first 3 songs are different because it wasn't a band as such. And then the last 4 singles as a band, it's been us and what we've all put in together with our influences and our feel. So it's been different and exciting because it's hard to even say what sort of, you know, band we are because there's so many different styles tapping into our music. So which is good. It's not predictable.
And your next single is going to be The Fix, which is slated for December. So what can you tell us about that song?
Oh, that was a song that that Dean introduced to the band, and in its embryonic stage, and it just it seemed like it just needed something else. So I brought a riff into it to the start, and that seemed to fit it well. And so it's a combination of you know, the initial idea that Dean brought into the band, and then I chucked a riff in, and we all jammed on it and contributed to the arrangement, I suppose. And it evolved more out of a group effort rather than just coming from one single person. That's it. Yeah. And sonically, again, as far as the recording goes, it's the same people playing on it as the second lot of recordings, but there's also different instruments being used, and a band that's as opposed to the second lot of recordings that only been playing together for a couple of months, I think. We've now been playing together for 12 months. So, yeah, there's a bit more cohesiveness there, I suppose. But there you go. That's my take on The Fix.
That'll do. So your second EP, Full Circle, is also out now. The 2 songs, Liberty and The Fix, are they taken off that, or are they part of a new cycle?
No, Liberty's on the Full Circle, because Liberty, the 4 songs that we got together and recorded when we first... The band only been together for we had 4 rehearsals as a band, as with myself, Damien, Scotty, and Gordon. And within those 4 rehearsals, I showed the boys 4 new songs. And then from that 4 weeks, we went to the studio and recorded 4 songs in a day. And Liberty was one of those songs, along with Tangled Up in You, Open Ended, and Soul, which have been the last 4 singles.
Right.
So that's part of Full Circle CD. Whereas The Fix is something we've done pretty much like a year later. So it was exciting doing that.
Yeah. And how does that reflect the growth, I guess, of the band in those 12 months and then the direction you'll be going with for newer material?
What do you think, Scotty?
I think it's a little bit more maybe a little bit more aggressive in parts, but it's sort of everything more. I think it's just, you know, there's sort of softer parts, there's more rocking parts, and it just sort of shows how, I mean, even though we were doing it right at the start, just within a year where we've sort of come as a band, I think it's a lot more mature, sort of a you know, it's like a band that's played for a lot more years than one, to me. It's sort of I suppose it's sort of a Zeppelin-y vibe meets something else, 70s rock influenced. And I know with a swampy sort of acoustic-y guitar thing as well in there. And I don't know, it's like I remember just listening to the recordings when we were, you know, just playing it, and I'd record it on my phone, and I'd go home and it sounded like it was someone else had done it, because I just couldn't believe how good it was for what I sort of thought. But I don't know, hard to explain, but I think it just shows we've come that little bit further as a band and how we're progressing along.
Yeah, and just on that point as well, one thing that I thought that set us apart in the beginning was that it's kind of a rock band, sort of little bit sort of heavy rock band, bluesy rock. We got Dean as well playing acoustic guitar in a lot of songs, and you don't often get that in sort of more sort of rockin' bands with the heavy rock backing or harder edge rock backing. And also the reason why we felt so comfortable going in and recording those songs after only being together for like 4 rehearsals, because it just sounded so good straight away. Everyone just gelled with each other straight away, because, you know, a couple of us are old mates, so it wasn't like we didn't know each other completely. So it was just a really good chemistry to begin with, which made those early recordings just sound really good and come off really naturally, with not too much hard work, really. It just happened really naturally.
The way you want it. And you guys have got a few upcoming shows to talk about, but first I want to mention your last 2 shows, which have been to big crowds with Electric Mary and Sisters Doll. Like, how were they? They sound like they would have been fun.
Yeah, they were awesome.
They were great. Absolutely great. Yeah, got a really good response too.
They're both different sorts of bands, aren't they? But they're both great bands. Yeah,
absolutely. It was just good to play with professional bands, you know, in good rooms to a good crowd, and the crowds for both bands were clearly there to see them, because it was their gigs and we're supporting them. But I think we've done well to win them over by the time we finished our set. So we're very pleased with our efforts those 2 gigs. It was great to play with the boys.
And your next show is this Saturday, October 14th, supporting Warbirds at the Leadbeater Hotel, mates. Tell us a bit more about that one.
You want to say, Damien, because you've been there. I've not been there, so I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if you know the Leadbeater Hotel. It used to be called Hunchbacks, one of those sort of theatre restaurants like Dracula's or Witches in Brisbane. Okay. But so it's got a great stage that's, you know, built for sort of like performance in the back there because of that. How do we get onto that? I think we just got contacted. We've been getting a bit of random contact about doing gigs, and Warbirds contacted us because we had done one gig with them before, where they were doing a single launch at the Tote, and they liked us, and they said, "Do you want to come and play with us again at Leadbeater?" And lo and behold, there we are, Saturday night.
After that, you've got Mr. Boogeyman Bar on November 18, which will be your last show for the year. You're also going to be playing all of your songs with no support band. Like, sounds like you've made a lot of work for yourselves.
Yeah, well, that's going to be exciting for us, because we've not played a gig yet because all the gigs we've played to date so far, you know, they're all been support gigs, and therefore we don't get to play all our songs. So we decided that we'll finish the year off on a high note for us and make it our night, make it all about us, and just play all our songs that we never get to do. So it's going to be like a $5 entry. Yeah, $5 entry at the door, and no support band, just us playing, and then we can just mingle with our friends afterwards. So yeah, we're looking forward to that one.
And what's next? Next for the band after that, you've got the single "The Fix" in December. But what else have you got planned?
Well, Damien, you've just thrown a little span in the works for us in December.
Yeah. As far as last gig goes, it's probably our last full electric gig, but we're doing an acoustic in-store record store appearance.
Okay.
In the Footscray Records. Footscray Record Store in Footscray, in Lead Street in Footscray. And we're just confirming a date for that. It's probably the 17th of December. We're going to be doing an in-store acoustic gig with all our music for sale there as well. So we're looking forward to that, stripping it down to acoustic for that one.
Oh, yeah, sounds like an awesome show.
Yeah. Well, we have to be stripped down to acoustic for that one because it's a small store, and if it was full electric, we'd blow the roof off the place. So,
insurance doesn't cover full electric bands.
Yeah, so that one has to be acoustic.
Very cool. All right, guys.
And it won't be the first time either we've done that. So we've had a couple of gigs before with other bands where, for one or other reason, one of the boys in the band couldn't make the gig. So we've said, well, we can still do the gig, but how about we do it acoustically? So Damien and I have done 2 gigs acoustically supporting Stone Trip at other gigs, and they've gone down well. So we are available as an electric band, an acoustic band, and bar mitzvahs, or what do you want to call them. We'll be there to play.
Anywhere, anytime, eh?
Hens parties.
Hens parties, yes. Hooters.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thanks very much for your time today. The Revelation is playing this Saturday, October 14th at the Leadbeater Hotel. You've got November 18th at Mr. Boogeyman Bar, December at the Record Store in Footscray, as well as your latest single, which is called Liberty, and a new one in December. So there's plenty happening for the Revelation.
Sure is. Thanks, Kris.